I felt like you two would appreciate this. So we did a show from a bar in Ridley yesterday, and there are these guys we read about. We were talking about them on the air like 2 or 3 months ago that do a wiffle ball league in Ridley. They've been doing it for like 10 years. And in the article, it said they throw 90 miles an hour.
A wiffle ball?
Yes. So we were like, I was like, all right, well, I got to get Jack out there, and we got to see if how fast Jack can pitch, but also if we can hit these guys. So it's in the back of this bar, Dolan's. There's a parking lot, and the wiffle ball guys come. They have their own radar gun or whatever. 48 feet. The one guy topped out at 94 miles an hour. Let me tell you, and I'll try to get the raw video. And by the way, wiffle ball moves like the way it moves is not the way baseball moves. Like it just fucking cuts. 94 miles an hour or 90 miles an hour is so fast in 48 feet that I kept saying, there's no way I'm going to hit it because I can't get the bat around in time. I'd have to start swinging when you're winding up. Even the 70 mile an hour guy was impossible, but the fucking 90 miles an hour was insane.
Did you get any contact?
No, I got contact off. Well, I got contact off of one guy, but it hit my hand and I grounded it.
Did it hurt?
And then another guy fucking hit me. And Ike pitched once and threw it like 45 miles an hour and I hit that. But
what are these guys? What are their day jobs? What are they doing that they have the skills to pitch 94?
One guy is a physical therapist, and I was like, throwing a wiffle ball 90 miles an hour is bad. And he's like, yeah, I have a torn labrum in here that I'm like working on.
Oh God.
They've been doing it for 7 years. They have it sucks because I'm going to be out of town, but they're having their championship the last weekend in August. Like I said, does anyone get a hit? They said the last game they had was a 13 inning 1-0 game.
Does like everyone at that level pitch incredibly fast?
Well, I guess there's fast pitch and non-fast pitch wiffle ball. Like it's a whole thing. But so
the more you know.
Yeah. 90 miles an hour. Wiffle
Crazy.
ball. Yeah. All right, let's go. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS and brought to you by LL Pavorsky Jewelers, where Rights to Ricky Sanchez listeners go and get engaged. MortgageCS. Become a MortgageCS Ricky VIP at mortgagecs.com/Ricky. Bodybio. Get 20% off any Bodybio order with promo code Norman at bodybio.com. You're not going to see that written anywhere. You're only going to get it in the pod. It's promo code Norman. And Kinetic Skateboarding. Get 9.1% off your first order with promo code Dave Silver. On the show today, what a challenge for me. I am going to try and get Mike to commit to whether the Sixers have a better championship chance than several other contenders. And I know Mike will tell me he's not sure, but I will dig in and try to get it there. Also, we have a follow-up from a relationship advice email we received 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we have a follow-up. Is that good? Is it bad? I don't know. And also, does Kacey Musgraves love the Sixers? And if so, why?
Yeah.
We will get to that as well. The Ricky podcast family includes the Ricky, of course, and two new episodes from our others. The Draft Council, which is a 52-week per year NBA draft podcast, hosted by Dan Olinger and Ahmed Jama. There's a new one in your feed right now about whether Gershon Yabusele should get another chance in the NBA, whether he could make it, the best shooters and best defenders in the 2025 draft, and some under-the-radar college players they like. So search Draft Council wherever you get your podcasts. And a new episode of the Carl Landry Record Club, our music podcast, hosted by me and Mutlu. We do two albums every pod and a new song every pod. One album is picked by you, the listener. One is picked by me or Moot. This week, we have an album from Nick Drake called Pink Moon. That was Moot's pick. The listener album was Jurassic 5, Quality Control, and the new song is from Honest Abe and Mod Sun. You can search Carl Landry Record Club wherever you get your podcast. And Kinetic Skateboarding. This, look, I said it last time. If you're in middle school or high school, earmuffs, don't listen to this, but it's almost time to go back to school. And if you got kids and you need to deck them all out in something cool, non-offensive, but cool. Kinetic skateboarding is a good place. Obviously, you get skateboard stuff there. Obviously, you get snowboard stuff there. But sneakers, you're not going to find anywhere else. Hoodies, pants, you're not going to find anywhere else. Jackets, cool. I have a cool vest I got from Kinetic for the fall. In any case, go to kineticskateboarding.com and use code DaveSilver for 9.1% off your first order. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy who is soon going to be scouted by 2 scouts. That is Mike Levin.
Ridiculous. This is going to be really dumb.
And one of the most anticipated Ricky moments of all time.
I'm going to play like total shit. It's going to be fucking awful, dude. I'm going to choke. I choke so hard. It's going to be exactly that. CJ, you're going to have to come like 3 times. At least let me get used to it.
Erase the original tape that Dan and Ahmed get.
I need a kind edit. I didn't want this. I've never been campaigning for this.
Nope. Listener suggestion. Just a listener suggestion. I think it was, wasn't it? It was a listener suggestion. It wasn't my idea.
Some guys have listened to this podcast, have played with me before. We could just have them on to talk about what I struggle with.
By the way, we could do that as well. They're going to do a whole podcast about it, so they could have
Jake Pavorsky on.
Yeah.
He's played with me.
If we could nail him down, I know Jake Pavorsky's a busy guy, so
busy young man.
So, have a good show planned. And I thought this would be, I forget what team I was thinking about, but I was thinking about the Sixers and another team. And I was truly thinking to myself, do the Sixers truly have a better chance at a championship this year than Team X? And it's a really instructive exercise, I think, because there are some that are obvious and there are some that are not so obvious. I'm curious what you will think. So what I'll do is we'll just go through the teams who could possibly be suggested. Obviously, there's other teams, the bad teams we don't have to worry about, but the other teams, I think there are some we will agree on, some disagree on, but I think it will give me a better idea going into the season what I really expect,
Yeah, I think it is to a little headpiece to this. The Phillies are so bad right now that it is contaminating all of my thoughts about the world. So I don't know. I haven't thought about this yet. This is going to be gut reaction time. Yep. But as far as the health of my gut, Bodybio aside, the Phillies have given me diarrhea.
Even after the Schwarber Grand Slam? Did you see that? Did you see that happen?
I see it. I saw it. I watched it. I had a small fist pump.
Oh, you're not there yet.
I'm not there. And I don't trust him. And then Nick gets thrown out by 40 feet at second immediately afterwards. They're currently winning. I do not trust them to hold it. I feel immense last year's Eagles vibes.
Oh my God, yeah.
It is incredibly frustrating. So we'll see. I hope I'm wrong. Would love to be wrong, but that is contaminating the general feel of my worldview right now. So I just wanted to lay that out first.
It's fine. Imagine having to talk about the Phillies for 4 hours every day, which is what I have to fucking
I do talk about the Phillies for 4 hours every day. I don't get paid to do it.
You just don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. So really and some of them will be easy enough. We can just speed past, but I think the devil is in the details here. Well, I will start with last year's champion, the Boston Celtics. Do the Sixers have a better chance of winning the championship this year than the Boston Celtics? No.
I think probably not. Although I love any sort of seeds of discontent that have been planted between Tatum and Brown. Brown, who didn't make the Olympic team, even as a fill-in. Tatum, who barely played. And then Drew, who was incredibly helpful to the Olympic team. Derek White, who got a lot of minutes. I hope that seeds of discontent have been planted. I would love for the vibes in Boston to be bad.
Sure.
Would love it.
But as it stands,
sure.
Okay. Boston. We both agree Boston has a better chance of winning the title than the Philadelphia 76ers. Immediately an interesting one. The Milwaukee Bucks.
I don't trust Doc Rivers to be a good coach in the playoffs. I don't trust Damian Lillard to age well
and be better than
Gabe Vincent. It's not after next year. So figure by end of next year's playoffs, if Gabe Vincent is healthy, he will be outperforming Damian Lillard is where we're at. Or at least they're probably even by next year's playoffs, and then by the following season, it'll be a hands down. I love Brook Lopez. I do think he's very good, but they seem to not know who they are and who they want to be. And Chris Middleton had surgery on both ankles. I think it's both ankles this offseason.
And he's been it seems like physically really questionable for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You know?
The Gary Trent signing will help a lot. Getting him for the minimum feels a lot like getting the Sixers getting Oubre last year for the minimum. But if I had to pick, I would pick the Sixers over the Bucks for sure. I think the Sixers have a better chance.
I would too. I actually don't think, and maybe this will change, but last year you could see that both Giannis and Dame played better when the other guy wasn't playing. And, that is the challenge of the two, the big three or the big two or whatever it is, when players are used to being the best players and the primary offensive options on the team. And I thought what was really interesting, everyone just assumed there would be like all this great Dame and Giannis pick and roll stuff. And Giannis can't shoot, so it's really roll. It's never pop. And a star player doesn't want to fucking set a screen and roll to the basket 100 times a game. I agree with you on Doc Rivers. I would put the Sixers not largely ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks, but ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, and Giannis is good enough that he can do it himself.
Sure. Yeah.
But I think the Sixers right now are just in a better place all around.
The New York Knicks.
I'm interested to see how it looks. I think the level of responsibility that they put on Jalen Brunson's plate last year for that long, for that many minutes, I don't think it's sustainable. I am interested to see what Julius Randle looks like on this team now that it's all the Nova guys and him.
I can't believe he's still on the team, to be honest.
Do they keep him? Do they try to move him? What is their situation at center without Isaiah Hartenstein? And I thought the Phillies just gave up a home run. And I think they're a very good team. They're solid top to bottom. They just have a ton of guys that play their ass off. I think they're going to be a good team. But as far as like championship equity goes, the best version of the Sixers is better than the best version of the Knicks. As is. Maybe they find somebody to take Randall and find somebody that fits a little bit better. Randall can help. I don't think he's a bad player. He is just like...
He's too ball dominant. He can't shoot.
Yes, but they kind of need somebody that's ball dominant because nobody else except for Brunson can do it.
Yes, but ball dominant in a way that I guess...
I'm not disputing the idea that he is like a frustrating player.
Yes.
And an imperfect player for sure.
He's a regular season player, by the way.
But on the one hand, they do need someone that can take some of the scoring load off of Brunson because he is a small guard that is not... He doesn't get like easy looks. All of his looks are like grinded out, physical, tough.
Yep.
Like
they feel exhausting. It's exhausting to watch.
His gameplay is exhausting, and he's fun to watch. I really have liked him ever since Nova, and I do like all those guys, and I think they're going to be good. But I think upside wise, I would pick the Sixers.
So I think the Knicks will almost surely have a better record than the Sixers. And I think they will be a motherfucker in the regular season. I think they could win like 56 games or something like that. I think they will be a motherfucker in the playoffs, but I just don't think like go back in history and try to find a lot of, or very many, or maybe more than 2 NBA title teams whose like primary option, basically sole option and best player is 6 feet tall. Yeah. And I know like whittling it down, but you saw what happened to Brunson is, by the way, same thing happened to Maxey, is when a team decides you're not scoring anymore, when you're that size, it's very hard for you to score. I think they will be really difficult to play. I think they could, but I just can't imagine them winning that many rounds in the playoffs as constructed. They could make a change, but like they have it's a very strange team, honestly, to have that many sort of, to be built the way that they're built. I don't think it's, and by the way, I thought Hartenstein was a much better fit than Mitchell Robinson.
I know. They're a well-made. I mean, a lot of guys on very, very reasonable team-friendly contracts. That's how they can have so many guys that are at that level. I think they're a good team. Obviously, they beat the Sixers last year. Obviously, they were incredibly frustrating to play against. I think the Sixers very clearly could have won that series with a healthy Embiid, a better B-ball Paul or backup center option. Tobias Harris doing anything. I think the Sixers still could have won that series despite all the offensive rebounds and all the problems.
We'll get to the rest of the teams. Before we get to LL Pavorsky Jewelers, big news. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez Bark in the Park team is back for Providence Animal Center. We every year, animal rescue is a very big deal to me. Our dogs are rescues. My cat was a rescue, and it's like the most important thing outside of my friends and family to me that we do, or that I do. So Providence Animal Center is in Media, and every year they have a 5K / 1 mile walk / you just have to show up. And we always have a giant team. Had over 100 members one year, and we've raised almost $100,000 with the Bark in the Park team over the last 6 years. So we have a team again. We'd like to raise $20,000 this year. The team is sponsored by LL Pavorsky Jewelers and MortgageCS. If you join the team and raise $100, you get this shirt. Show it, CJ. It's fucking cool. My friend Ben Thompson, who works with Andrew Sharp, his daughter, Aliana, who I think is 17, is this fucking crazy artist. I asked if she wanted to do it. I gave her a picture of Rebel. That's what she did. It's really cool. So, yeah, she did a great job. I told Aliana and I told Ben, if she grows up to be a fucking tattoo artist, sign me up. Give me the first reservation. She did a great job. So we would love to, and I've said this a few times, but it's a very difficult time for animal shelters. You probably saw the stories during COVID about all the empty shelters and all the adoptions that happened. But what happened is people went back to work, and there's more abandoned pets than ever. The shelters are more full than ever, and they're in there for a longer time than ever. So this helps support them, but also helps the people that work at the shelters actually be able to do that. So it is October 26th at Rose Tree Park. We will put the link in the description of the pod, and we will put it in the chat right here. We would love for you to join the team, love for you to raise a little money. If you can't join the team, we'd love for you to donate. If you can't donate, we'd love to share it with somebody who can. And I love Providence Animal Center, do great work, and they've always been great partners to us. LL Pavorsky Jewelers has always sponsored the team. LL is our first sponsor, the first Ricky sponsor of all time. We're up to, I believe, 412 Rights to Ricky Sanchez listeners who have purchased engagement rings from the finely dressed and amazingly styled LL Pavorsky. Everyone, literally everyone who is, LL has sponsored the pod for I think 6 or 7 years. Never gotten one bad story from anyone. Only great stories. So what's he doing? He's either doing something great in there or he's threatening people. You decide. If you need an engagement ring, there's nobody you can go to but LL Pavorsky Jewelers. You have to go to him. And he wants to give you such great service that you're the only one there when he talks to you. So everything is by appointment only. Might sound like a drag. It's actually awesome. That way, when you show up, he has everything ready for you. You can look, you can talk, you have plenty of time. He's Just a fucking awesome guy, awesome jeweler, and very proud to have him as a sponsor. To make an appointment, give him a call, 215-627-2252. Stores at 707 Walnut, been there for more than 3 decades. You can send him an email, lee@llpavorsky.com. You can tweet at him at @llpavorsky. He is a supporter of our charities, as I mentioned, Providence Animal Center and Mama T's Community Fridge, LL Pavorsky Jewelers.
After CJ films me playing basketball, he's going to film LL getting ready in the morning.
Oh, dude, that would be a fucking sick video too.
Scouting report.
Yep.
LL narrates it.
Yeah.
TikTok
Oh my
style.
God. Would be maybe a Cribs LL Pavorsky. Miami Heat.
Yeah, I mean they're in a very bizarre place. I mean, Bam had a nice role playery Olympics. Jimmy got to relax and do whatever Jimmy does in the offseason. They lose Caleb Martin for nothing. Tyler Hero's still a weird fit. Their young guys are not that young, but Jaime Jaquez is a good player. I mean, they have capable players, but they seem a little bit lost right now as to what they are, what they want to be, and they're just sort of waiting to assume some big name is going to come here. Donovan Mitchell resigns in Cleveland. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing, but they're not better than the Sixers.
Yeah, I think that's now. Do I want to play them in the playoffs? Probably not, but yes, I would put the Sixers ahead of them. Cavs are fucking weird. They are built very oddly. I mentioned
New coach.
winning a championship with a 6-foot guard. How about 2 6-foot guards and then 2 power forward / centers who can't really shoot? There's a lot of talent on that team, but like they are not a title contender as constructed, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna need Mobley to keep taking a step forward, especially offensively. I was surprised that Donovan Mitchell stayed.
I was.
It seemed like everything was heading in the other direction. Then all of a sudden, there was a report that was like, Donovan Mitchell loves it here. And I was like, okay,
Well,
doubt it. And then he'd resigned. And then,
but I also think there's some value for him to like being the guy there and having, like, it seems like they want him to stay so badly, he will get whatever he wants is sort of the thing that I feel from there, which is why he decided to stay.
if you could move one of Mitchell, Garland, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley for like
A wing.
a very solid two-way wing,
Paul George.
like Paul George,
Yeah.
like Mikal Bridges,
Yeah.
like KCP, whatever, even obviously on the lower end there. Like Michael Porter Jr., not two-way, but
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, they just needed a little bit more size with a little bit more like offensive skill. I would probably.
Well,
Garland had a tough year last year, injury-wise. You
I
could
love
probably get
Garland,
the
but they
most
have to move
for
Garland.
Mitchell.
What's that?
You could probably get the most for Mitchell.
Yeah.
I think
but
Evan Mobley's offensive limitations are better hidden as a 5, and you wouldn't need him to do a lot of the perimeter stuff that he is not elite at. So I could see you moving Donovan Mitchell because you can get the most for him. I could see you moving Jared Allen because you like Evan Mobley at the 5. But I don't know. They seem like they've been stuck in this kind of place for a weirdly long time. But they're a solid team, and they could get hot at the right time. Donovan Mitchell can get hot as well as anybody else in the league can. So
yeah, I think they obviously should trade one of the two of both, I think. And I would trade Jared Allen, and I would like. I love what's his name? Not Darius Garland. I love Darius Garland. I don't think they'll trade Darius Garland. I just think they'll trade Donovan. I don't think they'll trade Donovan Mitchell. Rather, I think they'll trade Darius Garland. So I think Darius Garland's going to get traded. But as they are constructed now, I don't think they're better than the Sixers.
yeah, I mean Max Strus was a nice pickup last season. Niang's still kicking around there. Dean Wade when he's healthy. They drafted a guy, Jalen Tyson, who I think is going to be helpful. I don't know. It's one of those weird teams. Kind of feel this way about the Pelicans too, where you're like, you're good. These are all good players. There's some depth. I'm intrigued by it. Like I like a lot of guys. I've always been a Craig Porter fan as far as backup point guards go. But you're like, where do you get better? It's just not quite enough. It's just you really have to have one of the 8 best players in the league to ever have a shot, and the Cavs just don't. So it's like, how do they get one of those guys? I don't know.
I admire their patience, by the way, if that's what it is. Like they haven't decided what they want to do yet.
Yeah.
And I think we would all agree, Magic, Pacers, the Sixers have a better chance than both those, though. That I could see them losing to either of them in a playoff series, but
totally. I mean, this is like the best version of the Sixers right now.
Yes.
Everyone is healthy.
A best version of everyone. By the way,
whoever the Sixers get for their last roster spot is obviously going to be excellent. I really like the Pacers, and I think that it was not a fluke that they made the conference finals last year. I think some of their young guys will be better this season. A healthy Halliburton makes a world of difference. I think that they absolutely could once again finish beyond the Sixers in the playoffs if Joel's not healthy or Paul's not healthy or whatever, or it just doesn't work out. I think the upside of the Sixers is well higher than any team outside of Boston. I think that's pretty clear in the East.
I agree. I agree.
I think the baseline for the Cavs, the Pacers, the Magic, the Knicks is well higher than the Sixers baseline because of how volatile any Embiid situation is. He missed over half the season last year and he's not getting younger. So,
yep, I agree.
But I feel good. I wish that I could remove the Phillies in me right now, which is toxic. But I do feel good about where they are, and they did get Paul George. Darryl did get to have his cap space victory lap. Andre Jones is going to be solid back. I mean, the Sixers are just in really good shape. They'll trade for somebody at the deadline, if not sooner. I'm excited to see who that last roster spot goes to. Things are good. Things are good and could be good. Will they be good, though?
We'll see. But now we got to go to the Western Conference. The
Here we
Thunder.
go. This is where the Western Conference This is where we start playing with our dolls.
Yes. Wait, what team? Oklahoma City has a team? Never heard of them.
I mean,
Denver?
I'm saying this is like fan fiction that we are.
Yes.
That we meet
playing
them
one. It's not playing one of. It's not
NBA
would they
Finals.
beat them. It's do they have a better chance of winning a title than them. And here's the other thing: the Western Conference teams also have to play the Western Conference teams in the playoffs.
So true.
The Sixers don't. So Sixers over all of them. All right. The Thunder.
I think probably the Thunder. I think they were good enough last year. They're young enough, getting better, improving. Added Caruso and Hartenstein. Has Sosa gotten to a ball at shortstop tonight? What's going on? Shea is amazing. Jalen Williams keeps getting better. They got rid of Giddey, which is fine. Chet is really good and now has some like legitimate good heft next to him in Hartenstein. I think they're a really, really good team. I think they'll win like 64 games or something. They're going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm just always a little. The team, they're really young, outside of Shea. I think Shea's probably, 28, 27, something like that. But everybody else is really, really young. I thought I was going to like watching Chet more than I liked watching him last year. But overall.
Shea's 26.
There you go. Adding Caruso, Jalen Williams is awesome.
Jason Wallace is great. They drafted him last year, and he was good as a rookie. He's gonna be better as a sophomore. Like there's just they have a lot of good players. They got to do the process in a way without much oversight, and then they did a good job of it.
Wonder what Jerry was doing while they were doing the process. So.
Oh, he's molting.
Yeah,
his skin is falling off as we speak.
Fuck face. Nuggets.
I think you got to give it to the Nuggets. I think they continue to lose players in ways that I do think already caught up to them and it's going to continue to.
Yep.
But Jokic is the best player in the world and they have gotten to a championship and won it. And the Sixers are the Sixers still. So I'm not gonna say we have a better chance than the Nuggets.
It's tough for me on this one. So I do feel the maybe they're just a one title and out vibes sort of thing.
I mean, that's been everybody over the last since the Warriors dynasty.
Especially compared to the fact that at least I thought, oh no, the Nuggets are going to win.
They say that everybody says that every year. It's like the Bucks are going to be here next year.
Yeah.
They weren't. Nuggets are going to be here next year. They weren't. Like even teams that the Suns were supposed to like be right back there if they weren't. Like I think it is hard. It is really hard to win a championship, to play that much postseason basketball that the Sixers have not had the fortune of enduring.
What's that even like?
I think it's taxing on your body is what it is, which makes what LeBron has done for 20 years like absolutely unbelievable, because he's just played so much more basketball than everybody else, and he's played it at such a high level. And the reason why you haven't seen a lot of repeat champions is because it's fucking hard. It's hard on everybody. It's hard physically, mentally. So I think
I would put the Nuggets over the Sixers, but I also am not super positive on the Nuggets.
I might have just talked myself into us having a better shot than the Celtics, though.
What you were doing,
sleepy. The sleepiness plus the toxic, the Steve Kerr imbued toxicity that has been Steve Kerr and Grant Hill. Thank God for them.
I don't buy the Wolves. I'm sorry. I have the Sixers over the Wolves. Where do you have on the Wolves?
I'll say the Sixers over the Wolves. I do love Ant. He's so fun to watch do anything. I think as much as there were some demons exercised by Cat and Gobert, it's like it's always on a temporary basis.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see that. I think it was really cool that they beat the Nuggets. Like that was a thrilling series, an exhilarating moment for them. I just think that their highest upside is still weird with Cat and Gobert together.
Yes, I think so too.
And best case, the Sixers are just such a more competent all around team.
By the way, and I know Cat had a couple of good moments. That guy is a loser. He's a loser. He's a loser. He's a loser. So I'm not betting on any team with Cat on it to win a championship. Now you might say Embiid's a loser too, and you might have a point. But I'm a Sixers fan, so I'm just going to point to Cat. Clippers, we have the Sixers ahead of Dallas Mavericks.
I think you probably still got to go Luka and Kyrie until Embiid they just got to the championship. Luka's only getting better. They fit really well together last year. I think there's a chance that doesn't last, that their tendencies of wanting to play the way they naturally play as alpha type guys will win out, and there's a little bit more friction there, but they got to the finals. Derek Lively's really good. They got a bunch of really good players that complement those guys. I think you give it to the Mavs until Joel has proven it in the playoffs for an extended period of time. I do think you have to give it to the team that was just in the finals.
I will begrudgingly give it to the Mavs,
though
I am suspect of just like the whole the way that they play, which is, by the way, not the reason that I'm more optimistic about the Sixers is they won't have to do the one guy does everything thing. Yeah. Just like the amount of, you talked about the amount of physical toll that the Knicks offense takes on Jalen Brunson. Yeah. Now, Luka's bigger and he shoots more threes. So it doesn't take the same physical toll, but the physical toll that the way they play offense takes on Luka, you just saw how fucking dead he was by the time the Celtics series was. And if he's never going to make any commitment to getting into better condition, that's going to be a problem. So I will give it to the Mavs because they were there last year, but again, not super optimistic about them. The Suns.
Last thing on Luka, the thing that I really like about the Sixers wing rotation for the first time in the history of this podcast is that we have three very, very capable guys that you can throw at a guy like Luka. And I'm excited to see between Oubre, Paul George, and Caleb Martin, like just mixing up looks. And with guys that good, that think the game that fast, you really have to just throw different looks, different guys at them, different tendencies to make them not get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is going to be nice to see over the course of the year. I'm sure that they're going to want to give Paul as many times to like not have to cover a guy like Luka over the course of a long season, but he's capable of it, and especially in the playoffs, that's a guy that you can not pick on. So I'm excited.
The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by MortgageCS. Yeah, MortgageCS, also a sponsor of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez Bark in the Park team. We love MortgageCS because they treat our listeners great. We got an email. It was actually in the last pod. Some guy gave us a bad take of his, Jim, from 2013. But he gave at the end a PS. MortgageCS is the best. Because of them, I got my dream house. It's a very long story. My bid was accepted, all because MortgageCS could close in 20 days. MortgageCS is going to be your partner in getting a home, which is not what you get from most mortgage brokers. But MortgageCS is committed to you. They're independent. They're not have any secret ties to any lenders or anything, so they are working for you. And we're heading into the time of the year where it's a little bit better for buyers than it is for sellers. Sellers, spring and summer, but buyers heading in, nobody really wants to move in the fall or the winter. You have to change schools for kids, blah, 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 blah. So MortgageCS can help you at this time. They'll help you understand your budget, purchase prices that fit, help you to find how to find money for a down payment, help you like plan for the purchase so you're confident like in that it's not a big risk, down payment's big. They want to help you plan out your finances in that way too. Also, mortgage rates starting to come down a little bit, which is great, but that's also going to make more people want to buy, which also means that you need a good partner with a mortgage broker, and MortgageCS is that. They treat every Ricky listener great. They make Ricky listeners VIPs. I always feel great when I get one of those emails saying that MortgageCS really helped me, because Alec, Ben, and their entire team just come across to me, as long as we've known them, as great in that way. Support every charity thing that we do. We love them to death. They're there for you anytime you need them, which is important when you're going to buy a home, to have your mortgage broker there for you. Night, weekend, whatever it is. Here is Ben, the CEO's cell phone number, 267-391-7425. 267-391-7425. By the way, Ben just adopted 2 dogs, so good on Ben as well. They will teach you everything you don't know about a mortgage. And if you already know what there is to know, they're going to help you get your house. Visit mortgagecs.com/Ricky to schedule a consultation, or call or text Ben anytime, 267-391-7425. If you don't believe me, that's fine. It's weird that you're listening to this podcast. You don't believe me. You could go read all the good Google reviews. They're great as well. This advertisement is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. MortgageCS is an equal housing opportunity mortgage broker. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Company NMLS 1464766. Visit mortgagecs.com/Ricky for more information. The Suns.
Intrigued by the Suns. I really liked what I saw with Devin Booker in the Olympics. Durant's still Durant. I think they have a better chance of looking like a regular basketball team than last year. I don't think they have a better shot of getting to a championship than the Sixers.
Ooh. Wow. I mean, they were not very good last year, but still, they do have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And wow.
Yeah, that Beal contract and trade.
Yeah, not great.
Was just very bad. It's pretty immediately bad. Pretty instantly bad. And I liked it last year, but they make some nice moves on the margins. Daryl said this, when it's like, when you have so much of your money eaten up by 3 guys, you do get better value out of your minimums, because they go like, okay, I can really play there. But it's still minimums. Like,
yep,
it really is still minimums. So I think they're gonna have a tough time. I predict that they look for maybe like a 3-week stretch over the course of the season like the best team in the league. And then reality will sink in, and injuries and age and lack of defense and all that stuff. So I think they're not going to make it. I would pick the Sixers.
I would pick the Sixers too, for every reason you said. Final 2. I assume we're not going to... Well, no, actually, we have 3. Lakers, Warriors.
I'm excited to see what the Warriors look like. I mean, I mean,
what are they going to look like? How are they going to look better than last year?
Well, I think Clay was bad.
Yeah.
I think if Melton is healthy, he will help them. I think Steph is still a god. Kyle Anderson, I think, is going to be super helpful. I've always liked his game. Trace Jackson Davis as a second-year player, I think, is going to be good. They have a bunch of guys that surround Steph, and you're sort of asking once again, like, can Andrew Wiggins be a decent two-way player? That's the issue. I mean, Brandon Pajemski was also very helpful. I've always believed in Moses Moody. Would love to get him out of there into a team that plays more maybe normal ball instead of Steph ball. Some guys just kind of can't play that way, Oubre being one of them. I think there's a chance that this team is just like so Steph centered, and maybe Buddy Hield just gets a lot of open threes. Obviously, we saw that experiment last year here. It didn't work out, but he's had a lot of success in the past. I think that team is maybe like just through the will of Steph and Draymond and a bunch of guys that know their role. I think there's a chance that they are still like a conference finals team.
But you put the Sixers ahead of them.
I probably would. I mean, it's like Sixers height. Like, what's the ceiling Sixers wise? I would say the Sixers. But the odds of that happening are still so Embiid based. Like, I
will make this easy on you. I would bet on Steph Curry winning the title over Embiid and Paul George winning the title. Like, I also think there's a good chance the Warriors win 42 games.
For sure.
You know, but also if you were to tell me I ran a simulation of the season 100 times, who won the championship more, the Warriors or the Sixers, I would say the Warriors.
I would say the Sixers with that, actually, honestly. Now that you say it that way, as far as if you're running a simulation, then I do think in simulation world,
players get injured in simulation.
Embiid has been healthy. I feel like I've tapped into the simulation. I can see like many outcomes where Embiid is fully healthy.
Yeah.
And in that world, the Sixers do win a couple championships. But in just the one option, in just the one world option, I think it's tricky. And I think we're still asking for it to finally be the year that it happens. And I would like that to be the case for Joel.
You put the Sixers ahead of the Lakers. Yeah.
I would, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I would.
And then the final team that, at least for this year, makes any sense, you put the Sixers ahead of the Grizzlies, I assume.
I'm really excited about the Grizzlies.
Oh, boy.
I'm really excited about a bounce back year for the Grizzlies. And I think it's a really cool team for Zach Edey to land on. I think he will absolutely be effective and helpful, even in just 15 minutes a game. Winning those minutes with like Jaren sitting. Brandon Clark was hurt last year. Ja was obviously in and out. Desmond Bane. We haven't seen Marcus Smart look good with that team. I think there's a chance. I think there's what are the odds of the Grizzlies finishing with the best record in the league? Like, that might be kind of a cool little side bet to place when the time.
I mean, they didn't they just have the best record in the league 2 years ago, or
they were
close
the 2 seed. In the West. But yeah, I mean, everything went wrong last year, and I think as much as Jaren Jackson is not and I feel this way about AD also, like, is not an elite offensive player and never will be, he has the exposure that he got last year trying to be the number one option. I do think will help him be a more effective option now that he's like the fourth option or whatever it is offensively there. I'm excited to see what it is. And the Phils get an insurance run. Okay.
It's funny. I just I sent a quick note to Fritz and I was like, I would like to see 6 insurance runs before Alvarado and Estevez, honestly.
Man, I don't trust anybody. No. Best at bats on the team right now are Rojas. Like, it's just, I just don't.
And Casty. And who had a good one tonight was Stott too.
I'm never gonna trust Nick.
No, you can't.
Never trust him.
Love him, but can't trust him. Not trustworthy. No. Okay. Well, there you go. That was a good. I commend you for your.
I was trying to land. I was trying to land on it for you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was good. So I promised a relationship advice update. This relationship advice goes back to 2019. We can't do this without Eliza Hardy-Jones.
I keep my heart under my pillow with my teeth and other lies. I've been waiting on your halo just to shine the light.
All right. We got this email in June of 2019. Eliza Hardy-Jones, of course, That comes from the album Because Become. She is of War on Drugs, but also of the Ricky. Let's see if you remember this email from 2019. What's up, guys? First time writer, long time listener. My girlfriend and I just celebrated our 9-month anniversary, and things have been amazing. Even though it's a long distance relationship, me living in Philly and her in New York, we made it work and love each other deeply. She is someone I can definitely see myself being with for the foreseeable future, and all indications are that the feeling is mutual. The one thing I cannot get over about her, she lived in Rhode Island for most of her life, conveniently giving her an easy excuse to root for the most winning franchise of her generation, the Patriots. My goal has been to convert her to a Philly sports fan, and I was having some success as she claims to be a Sixers fan now and has watched Eagles games with me, rooting for the Birds. We even went to Game 3 of the Sixers-Nets series, where she got heckled talking shit on the Nets. However, recently my goal suffered a setback of binary proportions. Before dropping her off at the bus station a few months ago, I noticed something strange about her bottom lip. Upon further examination, my worst fear came to reality. She had gotten a TB12 tattooed on her inner bottom lip.
Oh, I remember this.
Yes. She claimed that her and a friend had planned this for a few years now, and she got it when she visited Boston for the St. Patty's weekend. This was the first time I've seen her since then. The reason she did not tell me is because she knows how much I love the Eagles, and she thought I would get really angry by putting that scumbag on her inner lip. I have known to get heated when the topic of Eagles Pats comes between us. I get very angry. My question to you is, should I give up and break up with her, or continue to be shamed by my family members for her loose affiliation with the Pats? By the way, like, TB12 tattoo on the inner lip is not loose affiliation with the Pats. And also
That's
for that
as
to be
firm of an affiliation as you can get.
Yes, and for that to be your worst nightmare, how would you even have that nightmare? I have tons of tattoos. My wife has tattoos. I would never even conceive of that nightmare. Okay. Then we got an email, May 16th, 2020. Hey guys, this is almost a year later. Quick update from the last time I talked to you. My girlfriend still has the TB12 lip tattoo, but I've learned to live with it as we're closing in on 2 years. This past year, a big step in our relationship was taken, as one night she turned to me and said that she wants us to be considered a, quote, Sixers couple. We went to the Knicks and Nets game this year over MLK weekend, but I'm not sure what it fully means to be considered a, quote, Sixers couple. Okay. And then, Mike, we got this.
I think you can so quickly, I'm saying this now, years later.
Yeah.
You could so quickly make that a TH12, which would be a Tobias Harris, if you wanted to.
I'd rather have the TB12, to be honest with you.
Or even a BB44 for B-Ball Paul.
Oh, you could do that as well.
So options if you want to get in there.
Now, there was a question in the chat. Where is it? I lost it. Oh, from Donovan saying, did he think the tattoo would go away? Just as an FYI, inner lip tattoos do go away. They fade off because that skin recycles. So honestly, it shouldn't have been there more than a couple of years. However, we got a voicemail to 833 Lickface.
Guys, how's it going? I am following up here from an email that I sent a long time ago. Figured it's time to give you guys an update. You may remember me as the person who wrote in about their girlfriend with a TB12 lip tattoo. I'm going to give you guys an update here. I moved up to New York City for her, where I now teach and be a head football coach for a school in the South Bronx. We recently actually just got engaged. We went to LL together to pick up the ring. He was excellent. So that was great. I guess my question for you guys is, though, I really just have a non-basketball question. Am I a coward for this and not standing my ground? It's still there. It was supposed to go away in 5 years. It's been 5 years, never going away. The lip tattoo has been there now longer than Tobias Harris was a Sixer. So a little bit concerning, but just like want your thoughts on that. Don't have a basketball question. Just really concerned if I'm a coward. I'm looking forward to a nice long life with her. She doesn't really care about the Patriots anymore. So yeah, am I a coward? Thanks.
Listen to the coping. She doesn't really care about the Patriots anymore. Da 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 da. Mike, is he a coward?
No, I think it's actually brave.
I think so too.
I think it's brave to do this.
Yep.
There's a level of bravery to what you're doing, and I'm glad that she has. As long as she has felt appropriate embarrassment, which I think it sounds like she does. Obviously, the Patriots are now incredibly bad.
Yep.
Traded Matthew Judon to the Falcons. They might not win a game.
Oh, did they trade him?
Yeah.
Or did that happen today?
Yeah.
It must have. Okay.
So I don't know. The Patriots are not going to be like a rival in 5 years. It's all fading, I think, you know. They might be good or whatever, but there was something about the like Brady Belichick situation. Now it's just like they're just a team. I don't feel anything towards the Patriots really.
Yeah.
They're just very bad at this point.
I agree with you. I just also, and like, look, if you love your girlfriend, you should love her. But a TB12 tattoo on the inside of the lip.
No, I know. I hear that.
You know, then you're kind of kissing Tom Brady.
You are kissing Tom Brady, and that's brave. And kissing his son.
And also, you know what? That's a little dirty. But I mean, Tom Brady's on the inside of her lip.
Sure.
I just let's.
Sure.
You know. Okay. But I applaud you, and I'm glad. To me, it's a Ricky success story.
I think so too. And you went to LL.
Yes. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is brought to you by Bodybio. Now, I want to tell you very clearly, there's a new Bodybio promo code. Fucking pay attention, because it's not going to be written down anywhere. The Bodybio promo code is Norman.
Norman.
Norman. Norman.
Norman, when we yell Norman, can he hear us? CJ, can he hear us?
CJ says no. It's a podcast. You can't
Norman.
Norman,
stop
Norman,
it!
I got a treat. Norman. Okay.
Norman, stop licking your asshole. You say that all the time?
Yes, all the time. That's one of our main commands. Yeah.
You know, well, our new dog, Scotchy, while she was like smelling poop this morning. I'm like, why do dogs love smelling poop and piss so much? They fucking love it. They smell like it's a bakery in the morning.
In some ways, they're our most human.
Yes. So anyway, Bodybio, the new code is Norman. We're not going to write it anywhere, but you get 20% off anything at bodybio.com with code Norman. Like if you're going to get this, you're going to get a little E-Light to keep yourself hydrated perfectly. It's only electrolytes. Put a little in your drink in the morning, the evening. Got rid of cramps for me. I fucking love it. They have a new product. It's the only fish oil supplement you need. You're like, but I see fish oil when I go to the grocery store. I see it in the drugstore. I see ads for it. All shitty. Fish oil plus, the real deal. The problem is that like all this overfishing has led to shitty farmed fish practices for fish oil production, which means the costs go up, which means the manufacturers try to cut costs. So low quality leads to rancid and oxidized fish oil products all over the shelves, some even dangerous. Fish oil plus is the complete opposite. Wild herring caviar is the main ingredient. They source it, then they gently extract the nutrients. And by doing this, they make sure more of the positive stuff about fish oil gets into your bloodstream. So makes it 25% more absorbed than the other shit that you could get.
Gently extracting the nutrients sounds like what Norman does to his asshole.
Yes. It also includes SPMs, the most anti-inflammatory part of any omega supplement. If you're taking fish oil, if anybody in your family is taking fish oil, we suggest switch to fish oil plus. You will see a difference. Go to bodybio.com, use code Norman. Norman, you want a treat? Norman? You're going to get 20% off fish oil plus or E-Light or sodium butyrate or whatever you want. Again, bodybio.com, code Norman.
Norman, go to bed.
There you go. Here is the Cooler comment of the pod. Cooler, a new podcast app we're beta testing with our Ricky listeners. You can comment on episodes and talk to each other. This comes from Travis. Travis says, big no to Gershon Yabusele. I live in Massachusetts and saw him play for the Celtics firsthand. He was an absolute bum, and he is not suited to the rigors of the NBA schedule. Although, it would be funny if we signed him, and he was great for us to stick it to the Celtics. That sort of thing never happens to the Sixers, though our players are always terrible here and great elsewhere, not the other way around.
It's so funny to be like, this guy who would maybe play like 12 minutes a game is not suited to the rigors of the NBA schedule. Is a very funny criticism.
Yeah.
If he wants to take every other game off, that I'm fine with that. If the rigors are too much for him.
Yeah, I would also like having him. We got this voicemail. I want to see, he makes reference to a very old Ricky episode, and he makes a mistake in this voicemail. And I'm guessing, I want to see whether you know the real thing, not the mistake he made.
Okay.
833 Lickface is the number.
Hey, Spike, Mike, CJ, Daryl, Harold, and Tony T. This is calling to you from the great state of Alabama again. I know I'm probably not the first one to call about this, or probably the first voicemail you've had to sort through about this guy, but if I had to choose between three of these players, I'd rather have a 28-year-old Gershon Yabusele, someone to come off the bench, provide some energy. The lack of shooting does concern me quite a bit with a lineup of Embiid in it, but I don't know. I feel like he would probably be a lot more beneficial to the team and could contribute more winning plays than Marcus Morris or Davis Bertans could at this point in their careers. And also, we need to get a little younger. 28 seems like a good number to try. That's just kind of like a statement. I don't know if it's really a question. But my non-basketball question is, and this will tell you how long I've been listening to the podcast. I remember a while ago you guys said you were laying pipe for Booby, and you were talking about TV shows on the last podcast. What underrated or lesser-known show do you guys want to lay some pipe for? You laid some pipe for Booby. Now, what are you laying pipe for on the tube? Love the pod. Keep the great work up, guys. Peace out.
It was not Booby Gibson.
Nope. Do you remember who it was?
Bino Udre.
There it is. And by the way, I think it's one of the first 10 podcasts we did.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah.
It might be. But era appropriate for sure. For Booby.
Yes. Do you have any? He asked if there was a lesser known TV show that you would lay pipe for.
I've talked about this with Reservation Dogs. Incredible show. Very funny, very emotional, very poignant.
Mm-hmm.
Lesser known. It's like there's not that many. There's lesser known movies, but like if it's a television show, it's like it's on. It's there. People see it.
Mine that I always pick out for lesser known is Rectify.
That would qualify for sure.
Yeah, it is. I think my favorite show of all time is Mad Men, but Rectify is too. I think Rectify is only 3 seasons or something, but it is. I don't like happy shows, and Rectify is not a happy show, but I think it's definitely one of the best shows I've ever seen. So
I'm trying to watch Industry right now.
I've seen people talk about it, but I don't know what it's about.
People are talking about it. Chris Ryan always talks about it. So I was like, I'll give it a shot. I just don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what it's about, so I can't even help you, I guess.
Finance?
Oh. Well,
Stocks?
that's not a show for you. That's not a show for. What are you watching that for?
Bonds, perhaps? They're having sex.
Well,
they're doing
sex is
drugs.
good. Oh, well. But finance.
Oh, somebody in the chat says Slow Horses. I do really like Slow Horses on Apple TV. That's a very delightful show.
And I watched a movie. Well, we're doing TV shows, not movies. I could do this forever. Here we go. 833 Lickface is the number.
Spike, Mike, President Harrell, Norman, who is finally getting some credit in his promo code. Listen, guys, I love the idea of Mike getting scouted. I know he's a little uncomfortable with it. And CJ had previously mentioned a clandestine effort to do it. I think not only it should be clandestine to the people around watching the game, but also to Mike. You guys should fly out there, scout him in a game without his knowledge. He's going to be so nervous when they're there for that game. He's going to play terribly.
That's right.
So you go, you scout him in secrecy. Afterwards, you can let him know, okay, you've been scouted. But that way we get the true sense of how good Mike is. Now, I guess one could argue that, knowing that the lights are bright is part of the skill and coming up big when you know you have to perform well. But let's just give the guy a little bit of a break and let him just play his game without knowing when the scouts are there. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. But we definitely need the scouting report.
Yeah. Everyone needs the scouting report, by the way. No one has said don't do the scouting report.
Yeah. Yeah, I would rather just play in a game with our listeners than like the filming of it is really what's going to fuck me up, I think.
I love the idea that it could possibly be clandestine.
I like it too. If CJ was hiding behind like a pillar in the gym and I just see like a little like wisp of his hair, I'd be like, there it is. Spotted his ass.
Yeah.
It's gonna be something. We did my co-ed team with Alyssa did improve to, I don't know what our record is total because I missed a couple games, but Alyssa and I together when we are both at the games are 4-0. which is pretty cool.
I play like this. I don't play like that. When I play, I'm pretty intense.
Mike playing basketball.
I'm in my prime. Honestly,
Sign me. Our friend of the pod, Jordan Liggins, came to this game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
hit a bunch of threes. She played great. So trucking right along in this co-ed league. I won a championship as a coach. I won a championship as a player, and now we are aiming for winning a championship as a husband. How about that? The husband championships.
Have you looked at the inside of Alyssa's lip lately?
I got an idea that there's not a TB12 in there.
Okay. Now, this came from Josh. This is one of the most painful questions I've ever read. I've had this in the email list for a while. I haven't wanted to read it before, but here we go. Rights to Ricky Sanchez at gmail.com. On a recent pod, you guys were talking about Embiid and how rare it is for a big guy to be kind of a joker and have a personality like this. You said not since Shaq. Can I suggest a more recent analog for Embiid?
Dwight Howard, don't say it.
Okay, a guy who loves cracking jokes, but is kind of corny, and who none of the other players in the league seem to particularly like or want to play with. How about Dwight Howard?
So I disagree with that. It's very different. Dwight Howard is closer to LeBron in his style of like humor and like corniness, whereas Embiid is like, he's not life of the party guy the way that Dwight at his peak tried to be. I don't see it. I hear what you're saying. I pretend I do not hear it.
Yeah, it's not right, but it's also not wrong.
Yeah,
is the way that I would
they would be sorted into the same like general categories, but when you dig into it, you're like their approaches to their comedic roles are actually quite different.
Okay,
Joel is way more online.
Yes,
Dwight is like just speaking strictly about his comedic personality.
Yeah,
like much more like corny, like Nickelodeon dad.
So we have one voicemail, and then we'll play the Kacey Musgraves. I would like to warn you that you can hide your face during this voicemail. So if you don't want to give anything away, 833-LICK-FACE is the number.
Guys, Vance from Vance Refrigeration here. Quick question. Is the show Mike does not like The Office? Was trying to figure out why, and I realized Mike kind of looks like Michael Scott / Steve Carell. So maybe when he watches The Office, he sees too much of himself in the show, so that's why he dislikes it. Just a question, maybe not.
Mike,
never been compared to Steve Carell. Don't mind it. Handsome man.
That part of the voicemail was my favorite part. It comes out of nowhere. It's such a curveball.
I was waiting for who's he going to say. No, I do like The Office.
Oh,
I like The Office very much.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
There's not like, I mean, there's a.
Just
there's
let
not.
It be. You there? Oh no, silenced.
I think he pulled his mic cord out.
Do you have to select the thing again?
We're back.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah.
Yes?
Yep. Yes.
You can hear
We
me?
hear you.
I can't hear you now. This is insane.
You have to maybe pick the headphones again.
There we
on
go.
settings. You hear me?
There we go. No, I'm good.
All right. All right.
This has happened a couple of things. I think the cord itself is getting a little bit finicky.
Tom says in the chat that Big Office is silencing you. Yeah.
Could be. Could be, you guys. No, I like The Office, but there's a bunch of shows over the last 15 years
wow.
that people like that I don't.
But
I'm not going to say which. All the
I
guesses have been wrong.
I went to get the email about Kacey Musgraves, and I saw we just got an email about you looking like somebody else. But we'll save that for the next.
No,
pod.
say it right now.
Well,
Steve Carell, and now it is.
Well, okay, CJ, I'm going to forward you this. Can you put it up so we can compare? I don't think it's a bad comparison. CJ, if you can't do it, don't worry about it. But I'm sending it to you now. There we go. The email, Deneen. I wonder if it's that Kevin Deneen, the former hockey player. Have you guys noticed Mike's resemblance to Ben Verlander? Am I tripping? DraftKings should probably run the same ad with Mike in the name of competition. Oh, the ad is for a different sports betting company that we do not support.
It's Justin Verlander's brother?
Yes.
No, I don't think we look alike. I understand that he's a regular-looking white man.
Well,
but I don't see it.
This photo, it kind of looks like if you and Pat Gallen had a baby. The photo that I'm looking at. This photo, not as much.
Yeah, I don't see it for me.
Yeah. And then finally, we got an email from Gabe. And Gabe said, hold on, let me read it. And this is about the Kacey Musgraves thing. Hang on, let me find the email. I want to give Gabe proper credit. Hey, Spike and Mike, thought this was worth sharing on the pod. In a classic Bizarro Sixers moment, I randomly saw Grammy-winning artist Kacey Musgraves singing the Clap Your Hands Everybody Sixers Win theme song.
Yeah.
What? LOL. The video is in the last slide of this Instagram post she shared. So here's Kacey Musgraves, and it looks like a bunch of her friends singing Here Come the Sixers.
And everybody for Philadelphia 76ers, stomp your feet. Everybody for Philadelphia 76ers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Sixers.
This is wild.
76ers. Come on now.
So Kacey Musgraves is awesome. Did you know is she a Sixers fan? I didn't know.
Okay,
this.
so here's the situation.
Okay.
Saw Sixers reporter Lauren Rosen post this, watched it, was very intrigued by it, immediately sent it to our friend, music correspondent, Jason Lipschutz at Billboard.
At Billboard, yep.
Jason is into it. He's
going to get the answer.
He's getting answers.
Okay.
I have specifics. I don't know that I'm allowed to share them. So there's no answers yet, but he has made contacts. He is asking questions.
Okay.
And he will come up with an answer, because that is a lot of people singing that song like they've done it before. That didn't seem like the first time that they were singing that song. And I think that's interesting. I don't know anything about Kacey Musgraves. I'd say probably maybe the person I've heard about the most in the world without being able to pick her out of a lineup. I would not have been able to. Now that she's Here Come the Sixers, now I can pick her.
Oh, so you've listened to Kacey Musgraves or never that either?
I don't think, never on purpose.
Okay. You should listen to Golden Hour. It is an awesome album. I didn't know anything I didn't listen to it until I was doing the Apple Top 100 thing where I was listening to all the albums, and one of hers is in there, but she's awesome. And I also think
Nothing Against Her's hasn't made it through to me.
And by the way, I also think it's funny that you sent it. I mean, we love Jason, of course, but we do have somebody who works for the Ricky who also works for Billboard, and that is
That's true. That's true. Well, I saw it on Instagram, and AU's not on Instagram, is he?
He is, but he's like hidden on Instagram or something. Yeah.
I think that might have been. But I mean, that's also fair. I really did. Sorry to snub AU. I went right to Jason. I went directly to Jason. I didn't even think about AU. But I love AU.
Yeah.
It's not an insult.
By the way, Jason, we should plug it. Jason wrote a book about Linkin Park. It comes out in October. It is called One More Light. That's what it's called, right? Wait, hang on. I think it's.
And do you like Here Come the Sixers?
No, I hate it.
You still hate it. It's not grown on you at all.
It starts with one. I'm sorry, it's not called One More Light. It's called It Starts With One. I've already read it. I just want to say, Jason's Linkin Park book, like, I actually teared up at the end of it. I think Linkin Park's a great band. It was very sad when Chester Bennington died, but Jason wrote a great book about it and a great book about the band. But anyway, I hate Here Come the Sixers.
You still hate Here Come the Sixers?
Yeah, I hate it.
I find that to be crazy.
I
really do.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful song.
Yeah.
It means we've won.
Yeah.
People have fun singing it.
Yeah, I still hate it though.
It blows my mind.
Does it really blow your mind? I mean, it's right up my alley to hate something that.
Do you like that kind of music? Do you like little sort of, I don't know, 70s soul?
Yeah,
funk?
I just
like.
By the way, it's
pop.
It's a Mutlu type song. It's not down my alley. I just think it's annoying.
I wouldn't say like I love songs that tell me to count or spell. Like like any song that tells you how to count or spell. Name them all. I think that's a little bit childish.
Yeah.
But 7-6 is in the name. So if any song of the team. So if any song would do it, I think this one earns the right. And they're having a good time. We're bopping around, and they did just win. So I would love for you to re-examine.
I mean, I've heard it a billion times.
I know, but are you so used to it? And this is something I do where I'm so used to disliking something that I never actually think about something. I mean, do I actually still, or am I just used to doing it?
How about this? Give me until the season after a win, see how I'm feeling. And maybe I'll say to you, you know what? I was actually bopping to it. I actually just think that I hate it. So just
I appreciate
give me
that. I appreciate you being open to that.
I'm open to it. I appreciate you committing to the championship bit in this pod. And I appreciate you hating The Office and not admitting it to it.
No, I do like The Office.
Okay. We will talk to you next time. Join the Bark in the Park team. Support homeless animals. And we will talk to you next time. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah. You know, like face.